activists are calling for the University of Chicago to pay for reparations, claiming the college harmed or forced out poor and black residents. Demands from the activist group Use Chicago Against Displacement include this: for the college to provide $1 billion in grant funding for affordable housing and have a $20 million annual fund for rental assistance in local schools. Well, here to react is University of Chicago alumni and the Federalist staff writer, Evita Duffy. Evita, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So, Evita, isn't this anger misplaced? Why aren't they blaming Obama and his presidential center?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is so typical of white liberal arts students. They want to make themselves feel good and not actually affect real change. The reason that black families on Chicago's South Side are being displaced is not the University of Chicago, which has been there since 1890. It's Barack Obama and his presidential center, the temple of Obama, if you will, is causing the displacement of black families in that area. And I think, and also the doubling of the median home price, so people can't live there anymore. And this is very normal for you Chicago students and privileged liberal arts students in general, because they always are missing the target. So for years, the U Chicago activists have been demanding that we abolish the police in Chicago. I've interviewed many South Side residents, and they have said, overwhelmingly, we need more police in our area, not abolishing them. So this is just another example of them being completely off base and out of touch with what the people on the South Side of Chicago really need.
So what do you account for that disconnect? Because obviously, to your point, you talk to local residents, they're saying something different than these university students. So what do you account for that disconnect?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of privilege. I think that they, one of their own words, right? A lot of privilege. I think that they come to this university, they read Karl Marx, and they think that they know everything. And the truth is that they don't, and they don't really do the work of actually talking to the people in these areas. And I also would like to say that Obama is a huge problem here as well. I mean, he's supposed to be the king of equity and anti-racism. And here he is actively displacing black families on Chicago's South Side. And this is so typical of Democrats in general, and especially in Chicago, because you have the union cartels forcing black students to stay in the worst cities, or the worst schools in the city. During COVID, Lori Lightfoot and J.B. Pritzker destroyed black businesses. My favorite restaurant on the South Side, Five Loaves, shut down and never reopened because of those Democrat policies. So typical of liberal students at these universities, so typical of Barack Obama and the Democratic Party to continually victimize poor minorities on Chicago's South Side and in America in general.
Vita, so well said. But yet these residents, voted for Brandon Johnson. So it's just, it's sad. But Evita Duffy, thanks so much for joining us. Great job. And just a note, we reached out to the University of Chicago for a statement, but we did not hear back. Joey, take it from here.
Thanks, Lisa.